Welcome back to the Coach Business School podcast. My name is Andy Ramage. I'll be your coach, your trainer, your guide in this conversation about all things coaching, self-development and growing your coaching business. Whether you're new to coaching, you're just thinking about joining this incredible profession, or you're an established coach, these conversations will bring you some extra motivation and insight, hopefully, that will guide you and help you enjoy your coaching adventure, hopefully as much as I do and have done over the last decade or so. I think it's the greatest profession in the world. I'm completely biased, but I own my own bias. And before we get into today's conversation, which is an important one, it's actually a conversation about how the skills that you develop on your adventure to becoming a coach or being a coach can end up being a lot more economical than your actual coaching. Really important topic. Before we get there, just a reminder though, this conversation is brought to you by my Coach Business School, where we train successful coaches. That is our objective and our aim. If you're new to coaching, go to coachbusiness.school, check out our courses. The Foundational Certificate in Coaching is a brilliant place to start. It's like a try before you buy short course taster where you get to learn everything you need to know about coaching. You get to train with myself live online. I'll even throw in a one-to-one coaching session with one of the best coaches that I've trained, just to give you that experience of what it's like to be a coach, to be coached, and to train as a coach. And then you've got all the information you need to go forward. If you are an established coach, check out our coaching specialisms. The next coaching specialism is alcohol-free performance coach. And we've also got an ADHD coaching specialism coming up as well. And equally, you might want to come and join me on my marketing course, which is our Coach MBA, which is marketing and business for qualified coaches. Check all of those out, coachbusiness.school. All right, so what am I talking about? How can something become more valuable along the path to becoming a coach more so than our actual coaching? Well, it's this. The wonderful thing about becoming a coach, qualifying as a coach, is that effectively you have to learn skills to run a small business or a big business potentially in the end. And in doing so, many of those skills themselves are really valuable. I'll give you a couple of real world examples from our Coach MBA, our marketing and business course that I run. Just two examples that spring to mind really recently. For example, one of the ladies is a wonderful coach. Her name is Nina. And it transpires that Nina is also involved in the world of documentary making. Now, the classic trap that so many coaches fall into is that they have to feel like they've got to leave one career behind and then step into this new one. And very often there is some disappointment around that. It's like, well, I've built up like years and years of experience through those hard lessons learned in one particular career, and then I've got to say goodbye to that, and then I become a coach. And very often also there's that sense that actually I do want to say goodbye to that career. That's why I want to be a coach, because I want to get out of that career and into something else. But that is to make a mistake, in my opinion. Very often it's to make a mistake, because what those coaches fail to realize is that the best coaching opportunities will always be within those existing networks, those warm leads. And actually, I do this all the time. Coaching in those same arenas that maybe you wanted to leave in terms of your career is wonderful, because you're not in there doing the job that you wanted to leave. You're in there doing the job of a coach, which is nourishing and uplifting and fulfilling. And you know those people, they are your people. It's a brilliant place to place your coaching. Now, to the point, Nina has this incredible background in documentary making and felt that she had to walk away from that somewhat to start this new career as a coach. As part of the MBA, there's a one-to-one session with myself, and during that one-to-one session, we start to explore the idea of actually what are the other superpowers that you have, and it transpires that Nina's got the superpower of documentary making. Now, for me, in my brain, it was so obvious, but sometimes you can't see the wood for the trees. But it was like, well, how can you leverage your superpower of documentary making and coaching? And after some wonderful insight and reflection, Nina's really passionate about inspiring people in the alcohol-free space to join her and many others in Norway. She's based in Norway, on the fun side of the island, and actually bring this new wave of insight to Norway, essentially. And then obviously the dots started to connect. Well, maybe there's a way to make short documentaries that actually will reach a lot more people than creating posts or traditional content on social media, because the quality of a mini documentary might have that impact of shareability and reach lots more people, and all of a sudden you're fulfilling those needs to reach people and magnify that insight in a way that is aligned with that existing superpower. Now you might be thinking, well, yes, still, what has this got to do with coaching? Everything to do with coaching, because as you bring more people into your world and you get more eyes on what it is that you do, there's much more opportunity to create groups, to stand out in front of people, to talk about what it is that you do, and on the back of that, people will be interested and start to reach out to you. And this is the secret I teach all my coaches in. You start to become an expert in your field. You're seen as an expert. You get inbound interest because people are seeing you as the person to go to maybe change their relationship with alcohol, and that blossoms from there, right? Because then you become you bring stature as a coach, so then you get new coaching opportunities that have got nothing to do with coaching people around their relationship with alcohol, and everything to do with the fact that you're just a great coach. So that in itself magnifies. Now, I still haven't got to the point yet. The point is this, as I reflected to Nina, the skill of documentary making, short movie documentary style making, right? Whether that's short enough for social reels or it's 2 5-minute documentary style reflections, and then learning how to make those successful, because clearly you'd have to learn how to make those successful, whether that was using YouTube, for example. That skill, forget coaching, is incredibly valuable. This is where I'm going, right? So let's just say Nina had to create these short documentaries and put them out into the world, and they brought some nice momentum and fulfilled her ambition of reaching more people. That skill is really valuable, isn't it? Someone like me comes along and I'm like, right, I've got an established business, and forget coaching, any type of established business, and I want to break into social media or YouTube and get more people looking at what I do. And actually, I think a great way to do that might be to create short form documentaries about my business or the type of arena that I'm in. And all of a sudden, there's an expert now that I can go to, i.e. Nina, to help me do that. That has massive value, right? Because then people can invest in your skill set to help them fast track what it is they need to know to achieve their objectives. Got nothing to do with coaching, essentially, and everything to do with this new skill. Now, as you can tell, I'm getting excited. You can then bring back in your coaching element to that same skill and coach people through that process. You could coach them to create documentaries. This is like the skill. So all of a sudden you set forth on this coaching adventure and you were going in one direction and you didn't realize, but by learning the skills along the way, you've picked up another skill set that can become more valuable than the actual original idea around one-to-one coaching in the first place, because you use that same skill set to then bring more people into the space of YouTube, for example, and maybe coach them around making their own documentaries, and off you go. Win, win, win. I've seen this happen all the time. I'll give you a great example of this at the moment. I mentioned it recently. I have a book coach right now. Same story, right? Went on that adventure of learning how to become a coach and going out into the world of coaching and thinking Louise would have to walk away from all of her years and years and years in the publishing world and start something new. And then, of course, started to realize, hold on, I've got this superpower skill that other business professionals, business leaders, entrepreneurs and coaches might be really interested in: how to write a book. Penny drop. Maybe that skill actually is more valuable than traditional one-to-one coaching. And now I can wrap my coaching around that skill and coach people through the process of writing a book. Ta-da! So if you're a coach and you write a book, for example, learning that skill becomes valuable. If this makes sense. I'll give you another good example. One of our MBA students, same thing, is a wonderful photographer, videographer. You can see where I'm going with this, and thought was going to have to walk away from that industry and start anew. And I'm like, no, combine the two things. Go and create wonderful imagery around your coaching, or videos. Go and make things that are beautiful to look at and share them in a way that other people can't, because they don't have that skill set. And I guarantee it, for example, if you had to spend time on YouTube and understand how YouTube worked to get that information out into the world, to build momentum and following, whilst also getting your messaging out there that's going to inspire people and help people and bring potential clients into your coaching, that skill becomes really valuable. And I might come along and go, right, I want to break into YouTube. I don't understand YouTube. Who am I going to go to? I'm going to go to the expert. And guess what? The expert then, who's a coach, can then coach me around that skill. It's the win, win, win. This is the thing that people don't appreciate with coaching. They think they're just learning this binary skill that is one-to-one coaching. The way to become really super economical as a coach is to realize that everything counts. Every new skill is a potential to turn that into monetary income potentially. It might end up being the bigger part of what you do. Now, if you look at some of the world's biggest coaches, Brendon Burchard, Tony Robbins, where they make most of their income is not coaching. They make it as marketers effectively. Because what they've had to drill and learn over time was the skill of marketing, to market their coaching. And then in learning those skills of marketing, they realized at some point on that journey, actually, the skill of marketing is worth a lot more than the skill of coaching. Therefore, I'm going to do both. I'm going to work with organizations and businesses and industries and help them understand how marketing works. And I can coach them through that process because I've got all these coaching skills. That's where they make most of their money. Same point again. Some of the most economical opportunities in coaching are not actual coaching. So I just want to get you excited about that. Like, think about your own life. What are the super skills that you already have, or the super skills you could develop along the way? Maybe for you, you develop the skill of public speaking, and right now you can't speak in public, and you've not really done a lot of it like me, and you were freaked out by the thought of it. And then fast forward 5 years or 10 years, you're really competent and confident with that skill. That in itself might become more valuable than your coaching. It's the same thing over and over. So do that reflective work. Get excited about not only your future as a one-to-one coach, but all the wraparound skills you might develop along the way, or you currently have, that you could also monetize along this adventure of coaching. Hopefully that was interesting for you today. These little insights that I like to keep sharing with you. Please keep dropping the comments, follow along, hit those plus buttons, follow buttons wherever you get your podcast from, and do share these episodes if you enjoy them, and do leave us a comment wherever you can, or 5-star rate the podcast if you enjoy it. And also drop us a note, team@andyramage.com, with any suggestions for podcast episodes or guests. I know we don't have as many guests on the Coach Business School, but still drop us a note if anything comes to mind that you think might improve these conversations. Until next time, keep coaching. Make sure you go to coachbusiness.school if you are new to coaching and want to learn the skills of a coach, or you're already a qualified coach and you want to come and train with me in the coaching specialisms such as alcohol-free performance coach, or come and learn all about business with me in our Coach MBA. Until next time, keep coaching. Your coach, Andy.